What's up, Venkers?
Hello, Venkers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? Are you doing okay? Are you scared? Are you scared?
I was scared. I was really scared.
I was really scared. I was
We
so
were all
scared.
really scared.
We were all scared that Charles Leclerc was going to get whacked again by the curse that is Scuderia Ferrari.
He overtook him too soon. The overtake was too fast because I was like, how are they going to fuck this up? That was the whole race.
Right.
I literally wrote one of the first notes in my race doc was like, okay, great overtake. How are they fucking this up? And they managed to pull it off, but, you know, by the skin of their fucking teeth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesus.
And I think they pull it up because they just had the better machinery today. They just had the better machinery. The car was there.
Is it better machinery when one car blows up and then the other car, it's like the Mafia. They're like the Mafia, but with
Right.
their own team. They blew up one car and they cut the brake lines basically. You know in the movies where the guy hits the thing and it just
Right.
won't slow down?
Yeah.
That's what happened to Charles Leclerc. It's a fucking mob movie, but they whacked their own guys.
It's like he had an accident.
Yeah.
His brakes broke on the freeway. Okay,
Yeah.
nothing to see here.
Nothing
No
to
foul
see,
play.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
foul play. There's a
And
guy.
guess what?
Yeah. What?
And guess what? Magnussen, he had some engine issues. So it's 3 out of 4 of those fucking.
Yeah.
Well, not 3. They have 6.
They have 6.
So they have 6. So half of their
Right.
fucking cars fucked up today.
Yeah. I mean that. Carlos Sainz almost fucking went up in a ball of flames. I mean that was crazy. He was
I
going
gotta
up
say,
the hill, and then he was like, "Oh wait, I guess these cars don't park." You know what I'm saying? There's no emergency brake and park on the Formula One cars, so Carlos Sainz had a the engine fully exploded, and then it's just like rolling back down the hill, and he's like trying to get the fuck out. I mean, that was crazy.
Look at us getting right into it. I
Get
mean,
right the fuck into
I'll
it,
get
baby.
right into it. So, you know, about Carlos Sainz's accident, I was really sad for him. I was really sad to see his car blow up. But I was fucking wet to see Carlos's cousin, Carlos Dos, fucking slamming his head into the desk like in depression.
Right.
I hate that guy. Fuck that guy and his stupid glasses and his stupid Patagonia vest. And you know what? I went on his Instagram.
Oh no.
It's just him hunting and killing animals.
No.
Yes. He's got like Major Don Jr. vibes, just him and dead animals.
No.
So he's basically Turtle from Entourage, but he uses the money to finance like an animal killing spree. He's the fucking worst. And if Carlos Sainz has to have the flu so he can get a cold, I'm kind of okay with it. No, sorry. For Carlos Sainz to get the cold,
For him
to
flu.
get the flu,
Right.
I can live with that.
It's giving Bradley Cooper in Wedding Crashers vibes. It's like the environmentalist is also a hunter. And he goes, quail are overpopulated in this region, Jeremy. They're decimating the population. You got a fucking problem with that? Well, not as much as with your general demeanor.
One of his Instagram posts was like, this one is he's like holding its dead head.
Oh,
he's like he's holding this dead deer's head, and it's like, this deer was very old and her time had come. And you know what? I actually froze the meat and ate it over the month. Do you know where your meat comes from? He's all like smug about shooting this fucking deer in the head.
Right.
And and to people that hunt to like sustain themselves, there is a place for that. But like, you're just a fucking guy who likes shooting things in the head. Let's not.
Right.
You're a rich guy who likes to go out and shoot things in the head. There are people that live in rural places that's how they that's how they supplement their diet. Not Carlos Dos, okay? That's not how you don't justify it like I froze the venison and I ate it over the course of a month.
Yeah, this is
and I'm
ethical.
actually part of the fucking solution.
Yeah, the ethical non-monogamy, babe. You're not part of it. He's an ethical slut.
Yes.
Carlos Dos is an ethical slut.
Fuck Carlos Dos. And if Carlos Sainz has to have an engine blow up, I'll have his engine blow up every week to just see him. Just
yeah. It cut to him. It cut to him, and he was immediately like,
head in his
head
desk.
was head already down. It was, yeah. That was pretty choice.
Just looked like me in fucking calculus,
right,
in ninth grade, just dead asleep. Yeah. So fuck Carlos Dos.
Okay. Yeah. One more time for the people in the back.
That's our pod. Good night.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. This is brought to you by Blue Chew. Check out my show, Bridge and Tunnel. It's premiering on Epics tonight.
Yeah, Brian's stressed. He's got a premiere tonight of Bridge and Tunnel. You guys should. It's on Epics, which is, I don't know what channel. Where can we find it?
You can find it on Epics. Epics is its own entity, like Showtime, like Stars,
right?
Just like those things. That's
yes.
what Epics is. And my television show that I'm on is premiering tonight. The first episode on tonight, and you can go get Epics. You can get 5 days for free. You can watch last season. You can watch the first episode. Listen, this show's gonna be over in 2 months. You can get 2 months of a subscription. I think it's $5.99 a month. So you can get 2 months. You'll finish watching the show. You can support me as an actor. And you know what? Most of the time, all my attention is devoted to the Red Flags podcast. But today, I'm annoyed that I'm here doing this because I have bigger fish to fry today. In the grand scheme, I don't. But today, I have bigger fish to fry. And that's PAGS, baby. On Tuesday, I'm going to go do some press. There's going to be some interviews. I'm freaking out about my outfit. All of my pants have holes in the crotch. So I need to buy some new pants because I can't be in front of Jezebel and in front of Jalopnik, because apparently Jalopnik's going to be doing some articles about it. So I got to talk to Elizabeth Blackstock and get us fucking featured on it. So, listen.
You can have your scrot popping out on
That's
Jalopnik.
right. Can't have, yeah, exactly. You can't have these Jewish nuts falling out of my jeans while, Vogue is interviewing me. So I did watch this race. I was annoyed that I had to, but I did watch it, and I was, I thought it was going to be boring. I was almost hoping that it would be boring, but then it wound up being like what happened at the top was pretty clear, but this midfield was, it was crazy. Everything that was happening in the midfield.
Well, I feel like we could almost give the hottest moment of the hottest moment of the year to whoever did these regs.
Oh my god!
The new regulations.
Yeah.
I mean, they better be filleting themselves or getting blown 24/7 right now.
Right.
Because it seems like the street tracks are always like a track like Monaco or
Baku
or
Canada.
Any other name like these narrow tracks where overtaking is hard. That's not really how you could judge the regs, but like these tracks, like a Silverstone, or an Austria. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Like even the word, like the floor of how bad a race can be has been raised so high, and the ceiling has been it's limitless now.
Totally.
I mean,
when it was Magnussen, Schumacher, Norris, Joe, and
there was one other guy.
There was one other.
Hamilton. Might have been Hamilton.
It might have been. It was. They were like five cars,
and it was 3. And then I was like, "Oh, 3. This is exciting." And then all of a sudden, it was 5.
I was
like wacky
"Holy
racist
shit!" It was crazy. It was like. It was like that was thrilling. Just all of a sudden, there they are, and they're all fucking going around one corner at the same time. No crashes. I mean, today was clean racing, other than Sergio Perez,
and Gasly.
Look how they mess with my boy.
And Gasly. But, George Russell has been simping for Lewis all year, making it very clear that I love Lewis Hamilton. Even when he was winning, he was kind of like, I'm not really winning. It's really Lewis. Like, he'll definitely come around. And he took a note out of the Lewis Hamilton playbook going around turn 4 at the Red Bull Ring, taking out the Red Bull second car. That left, name a more iconic duo, the left front tire of a Mercedes car and the rear right tire of a Red Bull car. Put him into the fucking gravel, got the penalty, but still, wound up like 1 place behind Lewis. So it was
a sexy start to the race. I mean, Leclerc and Sainz are both going at it. Perez is getting in there, and thank God for Perez. He sent Sainz off because Sainz was right there with Leclerc. Mm-hmm. Sainz has been trying to get in there. I mean, they were fighting. I mean, to get back to the sprint race,
Right.
for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, Sainz was not playing, as we like to say, playing bull.
No, they're not playing ball at all. I mean, the dissent that's happening in Ferrari is kind of insane. It's like the team orders don't seem to exist. The hierarchy seems to be that there's different factions. They're letting them race too much. Am I crazy? I'm feeling like I feel crazy because I'm like, why are they racing?
I mean, we're all over the place. It's been a disorganized day. The sprint race.
Get the fuck over it, people.
In the sprint race,
Verstappen,
Charles Leclerc had a chance to maybe catch Verstappen,
right?
But he was too busy, fucking dicking around with Carlos Sainz,
right?
And Verstappen's just fucking raindrops keep falling on my head. He's fucking chilling,
yeah.
And
at one point, Brundle was like, if they wanted to catch, because they were like 5 or 6 seconds behind him, they're like, if they wanted to catch him, they could be like going back and forth, slingshotting, Ricky Bobbying. They could fucking like, let's give you a tow, let's get you in the fucking DRS, then you pass me, then I'll be in the DRS, and then we could both catch him, and then maybe one of us has a chance to win this actual sprint race.
But that would require teamwork,
right?
Or at least one person just fucking murdering his ego,
right?
And that's just, and then after Carlos Sainz and the same thing happened the other week when they were fighting and Hamilton was catching up and there was all sorts of tension and it was so funny because after Carlos Sainz's engine blew up, everyone was like, well, now it's clear that they need to back Charles Leclerc. And I'm thinking, it was clear from the fucking first race,
right?
He's so much faster than him. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? He's faster than he is with a broken fucking wing.
Yeah.
Oh, now we got to put our chips behind Charles Leclerc.
Right.
You're a fucking moron if you think that now is the time. It was the time 5 races ago.
Yeah.
It's fucking madness.
Mm-hmm.
That now, so he does. So the only reason Carlos Sainz didn't fuck it up for him again this week is because Perez mixed it up and pushed him off the track.
Right.
Perez is a better Ferrari teammate than Sainz. He helped out Charles Leclerc more than anybody. There's almost a play where Perez should be like, if I'm Christian Horner, I might be like, hey, Perez, let Carlos Sainz go. Let them fucking kill each other.
Right.
And then you pick up the pieces.
Right.
That's the Machiavellian move. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, they're fighting each other. Why are you getting in the middle here?
Right.
They're going to fucking trip over each other's dicks.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there's chaos. Let them fucking destroy each other.
Give them the rope. They're hanging themselves.
Yeah. It's like Ali. It's like just fucking stand there. They'll punch themselves out. Then you come at the end for the 1-2, rope a dope. But
Perez actually might have lost them that race.
Right.
Because by driving too well.
Yes.
If he had just hung back and let them, whatever. I keep repeating myself, but I'm so angry that I didn't get to see a more colossal Ferrari fuck up.
Well, you're right, because it's like I did watch that race, and it was kind of like it seemed like Charles had the pace. And you know what? Last week I said that Charles was going to win the race, and I fucking was right. And, I got to give some props to myself because I looked at that track. I just looked at it, right? And I feel like I'm getting this thing where I can look at a track, and knowing that what I know about these two cars, I could be like, that's going to be a good track for the boys in red. And I looked at that track, and I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a good track for the boys in red. And even though, because they were too busy fighting with each other to even like win the sprint, but in the sprint he only lost 1 point to Max. But then, today he just definitely had that pace. He passed Max early, some sexy little inroads, some sexy little passes.
He got him on the inside.
Got him on the inside, sneaky stuff from Charles Leclerc. And I was watching it being like, okay, when are they going to fuck this up? And there were a couple times within the strategy calls where I was like, they wound up winning, but I was like, if they hadn't, I would have remembered exactly what they did. But it was just like when Max went in and like Charles was
Staying
25 seconds ahead, and I was just like, just go in right now because you can get the pit stop, you can still be ahead. Like, just take everything that Red Bull's doing and just copy it, and just they'll have the better strategy than you. So just follow their lead. You have the better car, just follow their lead, and you'll outpace them. Now,
and they're lucky that they were able to get Sainz's car
off the track. Yeah,
because then that would have been red flagged, and then they would have been really fucked.
Yeah,
because so that's why I'm that's why I thought they shouldn't have pitted later. Because then Max could have gotten that advantage, but from not pitting, from pitting earlier. Because he was on those old tires,
right?
But anyway,
let's talk about these. Let's talk about these fucking shitty fans. How about that? I mean,
why are these GPs becoming in Europe like the racist purge?
Right.
Like everybody, this is the place to let it all out.
Right.
It's
crazy
crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, fucking no rest for the racist and weary, like fucking, we're hearing reports this whole week of the antics of the fucking Austrian crowd, of the fucking.
And the visiting probably Dutch.
All right. And the crew, Max, the Max supporters, which like. It's a little, what do I want to say here? I want to say that
sorry, go ahead.
I think to hate any driver it's like if you hate Max too much, I don't know, it's like, why do you hate him so much? Like he is whatever. But if you hate Lewis, like if you hate Lewis, like hate, like when you see him do well, you get mad, and you're like a fucking like white European person. I'm like, you suspect. If you hate Lewis a little too much, it's like what's really going on there, and
like burning his hat.
Yeah,
burning his spending $50 on a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're ordering it in the mail. It's
right.
You fucking putting down a credit card, it's coming, and then you're unboxing it, taking it to the race, and then you're burning it.
Yeah, and there was some stuff like because he had Lewis had the crash during qualifying,
and they're
cheering, and I think it was interesting because when that was happening, I did harken back to like what happened in Silverstone last year with the Max crash. I don't know if there were necessarily like crowds cheering exactly when that crash happened, even though Lewis maybe alluded to that maybe did happen. But there was a vibe of like, there was a in poor taste of like how jubilantly Lewis was celebrating when Max was like in the hospital. Now, I think Lewis probably like had maybe received some news that like Max was actually okay, but it was taken as like
Lewis didn't know Max was in the hospital. That's the party line. They didn't know that he was in the hospital.
But I mean, it was a pretty big fucking shunt, pretty big crash. He wouldn't have known that it was a pretty spectacular crash.
Well, I was in a softball game yesterday, and this guy, like my manager, it was like WME was playing my manager's agency, management company in a softball game, and this third baseman like laid out like he's this 51-year-old accountant type guy, like middle-aged guy. He fucking pops out his shoulder, like his whole shoulder comes out.
Yeah.
And he's screaming. And everyone's standing there as this guy's screaming. I run and I find a nurse that actually just happens to be at the next game. She comes. We call an ambulance. But there's like a few like alpha like agents there.
Yeah.
At WME.
Yeah.
And they're like, and there's a time limit because it's the field. And they're like, and we're winning.
Uh-huh. They're like, let's move this along.
And they're like, can we get this guy off the fucking field so we can play? Because we got the top of our order coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of like,
Yeah, Jeff from development's about to fucking hit a fucking 3-runner.
No, I mean, life goes on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Life goes fucking. The world keeps turning.
Mm-hmm.
And even the guy who had and the ump was like, no, this guy's hurt. We got to see him cared to. And the guy whose shoulder got popped out was just like, keep fucking playing. I didn't fucking pop my shoulder out for nothing.
Right.
Like let's go.
Right.
So then
that's his
kept,
mentality too.
That was his mentality. But anyway.
Yeah, I guess I don't think it's I don't think it's great that I don't know.
You should never cheer for an injury of any type.
Of course, you shouldn't
from
cheer
any
for an
side.
injury. I think that I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world if it was and the Lewis crash was like a middle of the road. But like if it's a crash, it doesn't seem like
it
it's
was
like
hard.
much. Yeah, right. He hit hard. And if it's like a crash where like someone goes off and it's like a little thing, I feel like it's okay to cheer.
Oh, if he
but, like,
spins, you can cheer.
Right, but if it's like if it's a Zhou type of crash, I don't think people are necessarily cheering. But maybe I'm giving too much of the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I mean, it's just like fucking crazy.
Well, what's crazy to me is that the European fans are just like explicitly racist.
Right.
Whereas like in America, we just fucking pass voter ID laws and do it like really subtly. Or not even subtly.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. And there was like like really intense catcalling. There was, homophobic stuff that was being thrown out. There was just, a whole bunch of fucking like shitty fucking behavior. Just like, people call out America for being whatever, but, Europeans love to look at America and be like, well, that's not us. And it's like, all right, well, fucking soccer hooligans and the crowd at the Red Bull Ring can fucking take a note.
Well, you're in a fucking terrible situation where like the most woke guy in your sport sounds like the fucking Terminator.
Which is who?
Toto Wolff.
Right.
Toto Wolff's like who works for like a company that used to use forced like Jewish labor to fucking make their war machine work, and their fucking company is built on the fucking bones of dead Jewish children. Where that guy is like, there is no room for this type of behavior, and if you are racist, you should fuck off. And he said all this, amazing stuff. But like, how low is that bar when Toto Wolff is like, you're fucking ambassador of wokeness other than Lewis? It's pretty low bar.
Yeah, Toto, Lewis, and Seb.
Yeah, another fucking kraut.
When the Germans have to lead the charge of political correctness, that's when you know that it's not necessarily going to be exactly what you want.
This is an F1 pod / Holocaust Remembrance pod. Never forget.
Hell yeah, dude. What else? What are the big? I mean, we could talk. I guess we covered Ferrari. We covered Red Bull. What do you think this means for the championship? Do you think that Charles has a chance here? Do you think it's a little too late?
I think he has a chance.
Yeah,
I think he has a chance. If now that we're moving to more normal tracks and Ferrari seems to have the measure of Red Bull on more normal tracks,
right?
But I gotta say, we need to talk about these new FIA clampdowns, because it seems like we really don't know what's going to happen, because there's big clampdowns coming on these flexi floors,
right?
Because
who's in trouble there? I think is Ferrari in
and
trouble
Red Bull are in trouble.
Yeah.
They both use the flexi floors, but I think Red Bull might be in more trouble, because they were really they were suffering from the porpoising the least,
right?
So what's interesting is like, there's all these hyperbolic statements going around that Red Bull was caught cheating, right? They were cheating. But in reality, there are these like skid plates underneath, and there's sort of these limits to how flexible they can be, like kind of like the flexi wings.
Right.
But if you actually like look at the FIA regulations, it's like they can only have 2 meters of flexibilities at these fixed points.
Right.
But what Red Bull did was they looked and they go, well, they don't say that you can't have flexibility at the other parts.
Right.
Just at these parts where you measure.
Right.
So it's kind of like a loophole.
Yeah.
Now it's sort of up to the FIA when they look at this to be like, okay, do we want to keep this loophole open or close it?
Right.
And they decided to close the loophole.
Mm-hmm.
They took the slutty Michael Massey-esque decision.
Right.
And I think this is going to make it more even. Now, the question is it fair? Is it fair? I mean, I don't think Red Bull necessarily did anything wrong. Right. It doesn't explicitly say that those parts of the car can't flex. It's kind of And a friend of mine was saying, well, if you need a lawyer to like interpret this shit to be good at the sport, if you have a lawyer like helping you design your car, then like maybe the sport's too complicated.
No,
So
I love it.
I
love that shit. I was thinking about like the person who kind of like figured that out. And I envision like now they probably just said I sent you an email, but maybe they don't, but because they don't want like a track record of it. I have a vision of like one of the engineers is in the lab and they're reading the rules and they're like, they don't say that it can't be flexible in every place. And then he's like Hans, and then like this kid's like, yes sir, and then he like writes a notary, and he gives it to him, and he starts like he's sprinting down the hallway, and he comes in, and Adrian Newey's in the room, and he's like working on the car, and he goes, Adrian, I have a thing, and then like he's shot dead and on the spot, and like that's how they figured out like the loophole. Yeah, no paper trail. Like this stays between us. Like we're the only ones that knows what happens. I love that they find these little fucking these interpretations of the rule, and it
goes into this narrative that Red Bull cheated. It's like, did they cheat or did they find a loophole?
Right. And it's not quite as much cheating as, when Ferrari was manipulating their sensors to make it seem like they weren't giving their engine as much fuel as it was actually getting. That's cheating.
Literally just cheating.
That's just cheating. This is like doing kind of what you're supposed to be doing within this kind of thing. They give you regulations and the teams push it as far as they can.
And that's why they're not being penalized.
Right.
They're just no longer getting to have that advantage anymore.
It's the type of thing where like overly supportive father would say, well, you should be thanking Red Bull. They pointed out the flaw in your system.
It's the Fernando Alonso approach.
Exactly. You should be thanking me because we took advantage of something that wasn't, explicitly written in the rules.
Yeah, so this is going to fuck
yeah, who's it going to affect?
This is going to affect Red Bull and Ferrari, and this is going to help Mercedes.
Right.
So, I mean, for all of you guys that are saying, Abu Dhabi was this horrible catastrophe, and that everybody's got it in the bag for Red Bull, I want you to like look at this decision,
right?
Because this totally screws over Red Bull,
right?
And this is the slutty decision.
Right.
This is because that was a slutty decision to make it tight, and this is going to tighten the field. Right. This is so Red Bull and Ferrari don't run away with it, and this is so Mercedes can catch up.
So was that the race today? Were they not using the flexi floors?
No, it's going to happen in France.
Okay.
Although because of Mercedes' double crash,
in qualifying.
In qualifying, which was insane.
Right.
That might delay their upgrades because they have upgrades coming. That might delay their improvements, so we might not see what they really have in France.
Oh, right.
But we will see maybe a diminished Red Bull and Ferrari.
Gotcha.
Because they can't use those engine clamp. The flexi floors,
floor.
Because FIA could have gone another route and they could have said, "Hey, Mercedes, tough shit. You got to raise your ride height. You got to limit your porpoising."
Right.
But they didn't go that way.
Well, didn't they go the way that was like that? That they can only do so much porpoising, which also would have seemingly fucked Mercedes. That like if you porpoise too much, then you have to change it. So Mercedes, if they can't figure out the porpoising, is going to have to raise the ride height.
Right, but I think, so
it's a little bit of
now,
both.
But now Red Bull is in the same boat because the thing that's been helping them with the porpoising, I think they're gonna. One of the things that is helping them with the porpoising, they have to fucking eliminate.
Right. Well, we'll see. That would be amazing if all of a sudden the Red Bull starts porpoising because they haven't had to deal with that all year. They've been like literally laughing and kind of playing down everyone else who has to porpoise.
Yeah, Max loves to go like. He loves to mock.
Max like it looks very hard, it doesn't look easy for them. He's like yeah, laughing, chuckling along the way. He's like, I don't have to deal with that shit. That's your shitty engineers, your shitty designers that give you that shitty car. And then if all of a sudden next week he's gonna be porpoising, that'll be very fun and interesting to see. Well, if Mercedes isn't there next year or next race, if they're getting their car and their upgrades going so that they're not quite at that same level, then we can also see where the level is based off of the fucking Haas cars and the Alpine cars, because apparently those cars seem to be looking pretty good. I mean, Haas is looking fucking good, and Mick Schumacher, I don't know what happened to that young man.
He listens to the pod.
I think he listened to the podcast because he all of a sudden, in the matter of a day, became like, oh, this is my new favorite driver on the grid.
Speak on it.
Okay, because for two reasons. One, how he was doing on track. Because last week, he was going against Max Verstappen. We were like, Mickey Schu, what are you doing? Just take your points and get the fuck out of here. But then after the race, he was complaining and saying that the FIA should be looking at Max's behavior on that thing because he should have gotten penalized. And I was kind of like, is that Mick Schumacher talking some shit? Is that Mick Schumacher complaining? Because all we've seen of him for the last 2 years is he doesn't curse. When he almost gets in a crash, he goes, oh boy, gee whiz,
holy cow,
that was a close one. Yes. And then after the fucking race today, he gets P6. And this is what he said.
Yeah, boys. Yeah.
I mean, even when he's cursing, it doesn't really hit the same way. But he's coming in.
But he did the hang loose. He did the fucking hang loose. He goes,
hey,
yeah, boys.
Fuck yeah, boys. Fuck
He
yeah,
sounded
boys.
He sounded like the Beastie Boys. And we putting it on wax.
And he also in the sprint, he was behind Magnussen. And he was battling with Lewis, and then afterwards,
fucking attitude.
And
about
then he's complaining. He's like,
Magnussen's got to let him through.
He was complaining. I'm faster than Magnussen. I should have been through. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
He got his first points last week, and he's demanding team orders.
But you know what? I love it. I love it.
But what was so funny is Gunther was like, you see, he had DRS, and that is why he was faster. And it's like, yeah, you see, you don't understand, Mick, because you actually haven't been within a second of Magnussen in your entire life. But when you are within a second of your fucking teammate,
right,
you get this thing called DRS, and then you're faster than he is.
I don't know. I'm fucking here for it. If he can tap into being an asshole, then I will be on the train.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I thought about this.
Yeah.
Because Yuki Tsunoda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Helmut Marko. He's such a piece of shit. He calls Yuki the problem child.
Right.
And he talks about how he had to get Yuki a psychologist, but Jenny did research. He had another psychologist that he preferred.
Yeah.
But Marco got him a new one that I think is a Red Bull one that probably fucking breaks all his Hippocratic oaths. This is what you.
A Red Bull psychologist isn't really there for the mental health of the driver, more for the the good of the company, even if it's at the detriment of the human being. There was a lot of research that was done about how to emotionally and manipulate. I mean, there's been a lot of research done about how to emotionally and psychologically break people and indoctrinate people and things like that. And I feel like there's probably a couple books in that psychologist's office that if you press a button, pop up, and they're not the books that you exactly want your psychologist to be reading.
Well, what was interesting was I was once at a college psychologist. Okay. I was at the college therapist, and I was having a difficult time, and then she got a call, and she said something. She goes, "Hey, yeah, sorry, I'm in the middle of a liability check."
Oh my god!
And then she hung up the phone, and I said, "Excuse me?" She's like, "Yeah, we're just I'm just want to see if you're a liability or not." And I was like, "Never mind. You know what? I'm good."
Right.
I'm totes fine.
Yeah.
Forget everything I said about,
I'm totes chill, bro.
I'm chill. I'm a totally chill dude. She said something about
right. If you give not, there's no wrong answer, but if you give certain answers, you won't be attending this university anymore.
I was like, yeah. That stuff I said about my mental health, I'm good actually.
Right.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
So the on-site person,
right,
It's kind of like the on-site psychologist for like a reality show. I'm like, do not trust those people. If you've ever seen the show Unreal,
Right,
it's,
right.
it's an incredible. They have like the psychologist is like, yeah, these are all her trigger points. If you say this, she'll lose her fucking mind, and that'll be great. But so Yuki, I think, is a great example of someone who I think loses control, is on tilt, is
right.
is emotional, and is like because I was watching. Brian, you started getting me into this guy Kyrgios, right? What's it? How do I say his name?
Nick Kyrgios.
Nick Kyrgios. I started watching Wimbledon. I turned it on. He's up 40 love.
Yeah.
He's got this big ass serve. He's like ace Djokovic. He's great. And then he hits like a bad shot, and then it's like deuce.
Yeah.
And he's talking to himself and he's screaming.
Yeah.
And I think it was like John McEnroe. It's just like he's just given up. He's like he's conceded. John McEnroe was just saying he's conceded this whole set in his mind.
Right.
And he's just given up.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to watch how emotional this guy gets. And Djokovic is just a fucking automaton.
Right. Yeah.
He's just level-headed.
He's a machine.
Cool.
Well, he's a hothead too, but like he'll be an asshole, but he won't like melt down.
Right. You got to find the balance. And that's my point is Yuki was too far one way. Like it's too emotional. And Mick Schumacher was too busy trying to be this perfect PR.
Right.
It's like, hey, why don't you get the pace and then act like Lewis Hamilton?
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Lewis in the early days was not PR.
Right.
He was a bit of a dick.
It goes exactly to the essence of like what we don't fuck with and what we do fuck with about certain drivers, where there's just like, if you feel like a driver is like being honest, whatever the version of that is, I think we fuck with it.
Yes.
I think that's like why we fuck with Max when some people don't, because it's like, yeah, he's a dick and yeah, he's like whatever, but I'm like, I feel like I'm getting the honest person out of him. I don't feel like he's like putting anything on. There's no airs about him. I think that's why we like struggle with. That's why we struggle with Esti Besti. That's why we struggle with Mick Schumacher.
Hey, guys! It was his 100th Grand Prix today.
And let's fucking pour one out for Esti Besti and his fucking 100th Grand Prix. I mean,
that's why we fuck.
That's why we love Alonso. On some
he
level,
got fucked. They're the Ferrari. Alpine is Ferrari, but just with Alonso. Just with Alonso. It's
let's talk.
So much.
Let's talk about Alonso. I mean, he got fucked.
He got out-qualified by Ocon for like the first time in years.
Right.
But not by a ton. And then his engine doesn't start.
Yeah.
In the sprint race, and then he's got to start from the back. He's working his way up. They pit him twice.
Right.
But then on the second pit stop, this got lost in the shuffle. Brian was like, "What happened to Alonso?" Because he was like up in like 6th, from 20th.
Right. There were like 10, I feel like there was like 12 laps to go, and he was like up there, and then all of a sudden I looked down and he's
they had to pit him
like,
a third time because they fucked up his second pit stop and they put the wheel on wrong, so he had to come in again.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yes, and then he was back in 14th, and with like 10 laps to go, he fought from 14th to 10th.
Right.
So he had the pace to go from 20th to 6th if it wasn't for that last pit stop, and he would have finished right behind Esteban Ocon.
Yeah.
He is so much better than Esteban Ocon. And I just can't get over how Esteban Ocon is just getting away with murder. I think honestly it's this French fucking team that's just rigged it against the fucking Dark Lord.
Right.
And I'm so upset about it. I mean, I'm so upset about it.
Well, speaking of things, and Alpine,
but also being older, but staying fucking with it and staying hard.
That's an amazing point, because I don't know. I don't know, because Blue Chew is so discreet in their packaging, and because you can do Blue Chew and have only you know about it. But I wouldn't be shocked if Fernando Alonso had a fucking Blue Chew prescription, because he's keeping that shit rock hard, baby. And this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. Okay, Blue Chew. You've heard it before. You'll hear it again. It's a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Okay. Esti Besti he's young, so he can keep it rock hard, but at the end of the day, he's so tall, he's going to be wagging in the wind, and he's going to need some Blue Chew to keep it up. So if you're a man if you're a person who has a penis, how about let me just say that. If you're a person with a penis, Blue Chew helps combat all forms of erectile dysfunction, okay? It's a chewable tablet. It's an online prescription service. You don't have to go to the doctor's office. No awkward conversations, no waiting in the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in discreet packaging. It's simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. Consult one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved...
It's like, it's farm to fuck.
Right.
Is that what we like to say.
Yeah,
P-H-A-R-M. P-H-A-R-M.
To P-H-U-C-K.
To P-H-U-C-K.
Fuck
Instead
yeah,
of farm
dude.
to table, it's farm to fuck.
It's farm to fuck, babe. And it's all, you just fucking do it all. It's chewable tablets that they provide for you. It's the fucking generic versions of Viagra and Cialis. You're going to fucking love it. And we have a special deal for our listeners. You can try Blue Chew for free when you use the promo code REDFLAGS at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, okay? So you go to bluechew.com, use the promo code REDFLAGS, and you get a month of chewable dick tablets for free. You just pay for the shipping just to get to your goddamn house. So be like Fernando Alonso and keep that shit up. And you know what? If you're young and you still need it, ain't no shame in that, baby. Fucking do whatever you need to do to keep it going all night, just like Fernando Alonso would want you to. Thank you, Blue Chew.
No guarantees you'll go all night, though.
Yeah. No challenge. Oh, yeah. That's also true. If you come in 2 seconds, Blue Chews can't make that not happen. So that's on you. and maybe you need a little bit of Yuki's sports psychologist to fucking get you to pump all night. But we'll see about that. All right, let's fucking get into our little awards ceremony. So
fuck yeah.
Hottest moment of the day. Okay, so clearly the hottest moment of the day.
Yeah, the people have voted.
We checked the Twitter. The people have voted. The hottest moment of the day has to be Carlos Sainz's car going up into a literal ball of flames. And
his car is on fire.
This
car is on fire.
Carlos Sainz is on fire. But he got out. He's fine. If we post a clip on this on TikTok, he's fine. But that engine fully exploded. I mean, it was crazy. And he was feeling.
It looked like he had trouble getting out. I was like, is this guy about to fucking burn to death on fucking international television? It was crazy.
he was having trouble getting out because the car was just rolling down the hill. So he couldn't get the car stopped. And they, some of the stewards had to come out and throw some shit below.
What is it with these fucking Ferraris trying to kill their goddamn drivers? I mean, when Charles Leclerc could not get, he was on 30%. He could only get it up. He was on 30% power the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
Going around slow corners
for the last few laps. Yeah.
So that means, folks, when you want to go slow, he was going 30% speed. When you want to lift completely off,
right.
He was on 30% gas. His foot and they were like trying to tell him at first they were like, he was like, the pedal, it's stuck. And they're like, it's fine. There's nothing to, because the data was telling them, I guess, they were gaslighting him.
Right.
They were like, they're like, is this fine? There is no problem. And he goes, no, there is a problem.
Right.
I cannot lift. They go, no, it is fine. And they go, we'll get back to you.
Oh, classic. I mean, how many times? Hold, please. And
then they were telling him, okay, use your other foot to lift it. He's got to, use his left foot.
Right.
His basically his pedal was glued to the floor.
Right. It's like when you're trying to pick up something with your foot because you're too lazy to go pick it up yourself. You're just like, come on,
except you're going 200 miles an hour.
It's like when it's like your phone charger's on the floor on your bed. You're like, you don't want to go down and get it, so you're trying to drag it with the
between
edge of your
toe
foot.
knuckles.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc was doing that with his fucking gas pedal.
Yeah.
No wonder the boy was scared.
I was scared. I was really scared.
And honestly, this might be the hottest moment of the day for me. Because I love a vulnerable king. We gotta say, because sometimes it's hard for a man to show that he's scared, that he's got feelings, that he's emotional.
That's right.
It's like that Bo Burnham song. It's like you want a guy that's everything.
Right.
I remember a girlfriend in college was like pushing me away. Was kind of like, I think we should, see each other less. And I like started tearing up. And she just goes, "That is so unattractive.
Damn.
So unattractive to see you cry." I mean, and so to be a professional race car driver, where you're not supposed to admit that. When we talk to Willie T. Ribbs or Mario Andretti, check out those. I mean, they never admit to being scared, right? They never. I'm like, how do you deal with that? They're like, I never. Right. They're like, because we're fucking men and we fucking. It never occurred to us that death was in the cards.
Or like it was like we just knew that and it was a thing and
we knew that we accepted the risks.
Yeah.
And it's like this stoicism, this like boomer stoicism or whatever.
Right.
Or maybe even older than that, like greatest generation type stoicism. And I found it, and that's why he has the best radios, right?
Yeah.
Because he's so expressive.
It's true.
He's so actually in touch with his emotions.
It's true.
So. Which is
I
why
am stupid.
he admits when he's never going to win Daddy of the Day because there's no toxicity to him. He's in touch with his emotions.
Right.
He's very present with how he's feeling. If he's sad, if he's mad, if he's stupid, if he's wrong.
Right.
He's just. And I gotta say, my favorite version of Chuck Leclerc is when he's in the car.
Oh yeah.
Because when he's being interviewed, he's kind of like chill. But when he's in the car, he's just very real. And that's why. Seeing a vulnerable king is very hot to me.
Shout out to the vulnerable king, Charles Chuck Leclerc.
Who was very scared.
He was very fucking scared.
And if you're not...
I was scared.
I mean, it's true. I'm watching Love Island right now, and it's really hard for these boys to open up, yeah? I mean, it's just like these boys don't be opening up, and they'll just go straight to anger, and they'll go straight to it. But, Jax... Who is, he's Jax is spoilers for you fucks, but maybe Jax is starting to feel emotional about his feelings toward Paige, and he opened up, and I was watching, and I was like, fuck yeah, Jax, but he might be playing a game. We don't know if Jax is for real or not. I'm unsure at the moment. I'm on the fence whether Jax is for real. Write in the comments if you think that Jax is for real. What about his feelings for Paige? Okay, So that was your hottest moment of the day. I think we both agree that hottest of the day, Sainz's car, and then Charles Chuck Leclerc. Daddy of the day.
I mean, there's two. I think there's probably two or three. Let's go through the candidates.
Right.
Okay. So there's the obvious candidate of Fernando Alonso finger waving at Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah,
he passes him on the fucking grass.
Yes.
He goes on the grass, way less grip, got the DRS open, passes Yuki, waves the finger at him. Like, no.
No, young man.
Bonotto style.
Yeah, Bonotto style. You do not do this to me.
Don't you come at the fucking Dark Lord.
Yeah, that was epic.
That was fucking epic.
I mean, that is poster board Daddy of the Day for Fernando Alonso.
But it's kind of mugging for the camera, right? Because can Yuki even see that?
No, but he'll see it after the fact.
Yeah, that's true. It's such a Top Gun moment. Like
that is such a Top Gun moment.
You were like when Tom Cruise, where they go and they flip off the Russian MiG.
Right.
Fuck you. This is from America.
Yeah.
So that's the obvious one. Toto Wolff had his son around his shoulders.
Right.
He was being a literal father.
Right.
But this is more of my dad.
Yeah.
It's like my dad. This is indicative of my dad.
Right.
Was Sebastian Vettel walking out of the driver's meeting. That is more my dad's speed. And then also when Gasly hit him.
Yeah.
We should talk about Gasly because he's been a little on tilt lately. He's been in a lot of incidents.
Yeah.
But when Gasly hit Vettel and like just sent him off and it was 100% Gasly's fault, Gasly just went, "What is wrong with these people?" That was his radio.
Gasly said that?
No. Vettel said that.
Right. Yeah.
He goes, "I left him the room. What is he done? Was it ad? Like, what is wrong with these people?"
Yeah.
It's like very like Larry David.
Right.
Who are these fucking idiots that I'm surrounded by? I can't even
Right.
deal. There's something very Larry David in different ways about my father, Sebastian Vettel, and Alonso, which is they have their principles.
Right.
They're very rigid in them.
Hey.
I would say that Alonso is more selfish in his principles, but they're very rigid and inflexible, and they get really agitated when those principles are impinged upon. I would say that Alonso has more self-involved, self-centered Larry David qualities, but Alonso and Seb both will get very perturbed and go out of their way to make a point,
Right.
and are kind of crotchety,
Yeah.
in their rightness,
Right. Right.
and I don't think you know who Alonso is. He is John Goodman in The Big Lebowski, where he's like, "Am I wrong? Am I wrong?" And it's like, "No, Walter, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole." Like he makes all these good points in such an asinine way. It's like, yeah, you're right about the track limits. You're right about these rules, but you're just such a dick. Like when you when you hold up everybody in the DRS train.
Right.
It's just a dick way of proving your point.
Yeah.
Which is why he's my favorite fucking driver.
Yeah, I mean that is if a sentence ever described you, you're not wrong,
but
you're just an asshole. But that's what we love. The good thing you found this community of Vankas who fucking loves you for the little fucking slut that you are.
That's why if you say your favorite driver is Esteban Ocon, I'm just I don't like you.
Right.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
I mean, he unlapped himself today.
Right.
At the end against Charles Leclerc. What if he had done what he did to Max?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What an asshole.
Yeah, he did. He did do that. I mean, he was on fresher tires. It seemed that was actually like a safe thing to do because he was on the fresher tires and he did like actually stay ahead of him. But yeah, no, it was definitely a fucking vibe.
He could have cured he could cure cancer, and I could be like, who is this fucking asshole?
But the thing is, if Mick Schumacher, becoming a fucking villain has proved to me anything, which is that like all it would take for me is like 5 days of Esteban Ocon like saying some shit with his chest and talking some shit and being like a bit of like an a front facing dick, and I'd be
and beating his teammate,
right? But fairly. Beating his teammate on merit.
If he beat Alonso on merit,
right,
and wasn't just this fucking nothing,
right,
Slenderman,
right,
I would fuck with him.
Yeah, I feel you.
We should be these guys like consultants.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Mick Schumacher did exactly what we told him he needed to be doing this whole time, and now
and everyone's loving it. Twitter's freaking out.
Loving it.
Mick Schumacher sounded like fucking Max Verstappen in his post-race interview after the sprint, and I was like, "Who is this young man?" Okay, I've already said that.
But maybe this is an arc that he planted. It's his heel turn, because in wrestling. When the babyface does a heel turn, everybody loses their mind. It's like when Hulk Hogan joined NWO and WCW. Right. Brian, do you even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, not really, but I can. You know what? I can figure it out.
Okay.
Well, it's like when motherfucking LeBron
Daenerys decided to flame everybody.
Right. Or like when LeBron went to Miami and he did that like Nike commercial where he's like, "Am I the villain? Like, should I embrace it? Like, yeah, like I'll be what you want me to be. I'm the villain now." It's like you got to have a villain turn, and no one's bigger than the villain. I mean, the villain is is one of the primo spots that you can be in sporting. They should
Conor
hate him
McGregor, too.
for other reasons. Exactly, Conor McGregor.
McGregor.
It's fucking what Jake Paul is doing. Jake Paul is just like being an asshole, and he's doing it all the way to the bank. So yeah, Mick Schumacher could become the fucking Jake Paul of F1. That's when you know we're scraping what's called the bottom of the barrel. Let's
No.
go.
And I also want to say that
Okay.
we have a daddy of the day, but we should have a child of the day, a baby of the day,
That's a good
a
point.
fucking baby of the day, which goes
Yeah.
to Lewis Hamilton.
Uh-huh.
Which the first time he got called for track limits, everyone was getting called for track limits, but nobody bitched about it quite like Lewis Hamilton. First time he got called for, it's like, hey, you've been called for track limits, warned for track. He goes, I wasn't off.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't. And
Yeah.
then he got called again for track. He got like lap time deleted or whatever. And he goes, I wasn't. Everybody else is doing it. Everybody else, they're going off everywhere. I've seen it. And I'm just like, and they go, and they were just like, yeah, and everybody else is getting their lap times.
Right. Yeah, because he was like, are they getting penalized or is it just me? They're like, actually, everyone's kind of getting penalized right now.
And then I remembered that he's such a snitch.
Uh-huh.
When he complained about like moving under yellow, he ratted out Nico Rosberg in 2016.
Yeah.
For the yellow flags thing.
Right.
He's such a little snitch, and I love it. So
He
yeah,
plays by the fucking rule books. Well, that leads us into our next segment because I think, for my red flag of the day might be about something like that. So this is a sponsored segment, okay? And some people say that it's an ad, but it's not. It's not an ad. It's a sponsored segment, okay?
Huge difference.
Huge difference. This is
what we call fucking integration.
It's
We
integrated fucking advertisement, and this segment is sponsored by Flags for Good, which is a woke flag company. If you want to fucking combat just a little, if you want to do the bare fucking minimum to combat the bullshit that we've been seeing being hurled around at these fucking races by Nelson Piquet, by fucking Bernie Ecclestone, by Yuri Vips, by whoever's next. You can go to flagsforgood.com. You can buy a fucking pride flag. You can buy a Black Lives Matter flag. You can buy a fucking pro-choice flag. And a portion of the proceeds goes to a relevant charity that has to do with the flag that you purchase. You can go to flagsforgood.com and you can use the promo code REDFLAGS for 10% off your first order. That's flagsforgood.com. And you know what? I think our guy Michael might need a little bit of help. Michael Green,
Yeah.
who runs the company.
He's my red flag of the day.
He's your red flag of the day. So why is Michael Green your red flag of the day?
Well, because he's in dead fucking last in our fucking fantasy league. He's really good at making flags and running a company, but he's so busy. He's too busy giving to charity,
Right.
and supporting us financially to run a fucking good F1 fantasy team. So he's been getting his ass fucking waxed. We have 185 teams in our league. He's in dead fucking last. Fucking get your weight up, Michael.
Yeah, so give Michael a little bit of help because
Yes.
if he maybe does well this week in terms of his flag sales, then maybe he'll put some effort and some time into his fantasy league. But my red flag of the day, red flag of the day has to go to whoever was in charge. Who's in charge of the fucking track limits?
The FIA.
It's the FIA. What were they fucking think? What is going on with these track limits? It's like it's so stupid. It's just like it shouldn't be affecting the race like it did. If every driver is going off in that same way, then you shouldn't be getting penalized for it. I mean, the amount of penalties that were doled out in this fucking race today were like, it was insane.
Yeah, if everybody's getting it, then there's something wrong. That seems like just a tight little butthole of a track. Because everyone was flying. Well, everyone was flying off it in qualifying.
Yeah, but like
and getting lap times.
You saw those guys
deleted.
were like, but they're flying, but they're not flying off it. They're flying off of like the both wheels have to be like one wheel has to be inside this line, which on some tracks
that's never a problem on other tracks.
Well, but
rarely.
but it's also not a standard. It's not standard that it's like if both leave this line, they put like arbitrary limits of like what is track limits. And it's a case by case basis. So it's not just like a standard that like both wheels need to be like within that white line. For some tracks, it's like it's a different.
I fucking hate the FIA.
Different thing, yeah.
I fucking hate the FIA. You know what? They like to like. It's like there are these new guys. Massey's gone.
Right.
There's a new regime.
Right.
And it's like a prison movie where they're trying to beat up the guy and set the fucking tone.
Uh-huh.
Except they do it over the dumbest shit.
Right.
They do it over the jewelry. They do it over
Right.
the underwear. They what a flex this was. What a dumb fucking flex this was when they called all 3 guys on the podium for having their physios come under for violating park for May conditions. I'm like, wait, did they fuck with the car? Did they cheat? And it goes, no. They just were like given water and had their physios with them when they were doing their weigh-ins. This is some Mickey Mouse shit.
Right.
It's a power trip.
It's hall monitor shit.
It's hall monitor power trip shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually affect.
Right.
They're not cheating.
Right.
They didn't run a guy off the road. They didn't cut a corner or a chicane. They had their physios with them, and they're making an example of them. They're trying to show these guys that they're not bigger than the FIA. It's completely asinine and stupid.
Yeah, it's like you've given it's like you're the most annoying kid in your high school is now like been given the keys and is like, I am running like after school programs now. And so, things that have never been enforced but have technically been in the rules.
You got to sign that out, actually.
Right.
You actually have to sign that out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could give out tickets in New York for fucking jaywalking all the time if you fucking wanted to.
Right.
And, some cops fucking do, and some people do, but some people just like they feed off of the power. Okay, well, let's fucking do our fuck, marry, kill with this podium. So we got Charles Leclerc winning the goddamn race. We have Max Verstappen in second. So we have Lewis Hamilton in third. We didn't even talk about Lewis and Max for a second. I mean, Max just passed him pretty easily, but, Lewis and
they were
Max
talking
for a
some
second.
shit. And
well, Lewis said,
you see,
I don't know if you saw this, but Lewis said that while he was just like alone, with like 15 seconds ahead of him, 20 seconds behind him. He was just alone on the track. And he said that during the long straights, there was like a jumbotron showing the race, and he said that he was watching Max and Charles's battle
while he was driving.
While he was driving.
What a king! That is just next level.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm bored of my race. Let me watch their race.
Right. Yeah. Fuck, marry, kill this podium. I think I got it.
Well, we haven't had Charles on there in a while.
I know it's been a minute since we had some Charles Leclerc on this podium. I'm gonna.
I might need to get me some the most. Who knows when he'll be back? Jesus.
Right. Yeah, you gotta take your opportunity. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to marry Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, me too. Gotta marry Charles Leclerc while we can.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna. No,
I think
not be here again.
I think. I'll. Like, what's worse for Lewis? Fucking Lewis or killing Lewis? If it's us.
What do you mean?
No, I think it's like, are we really doing him a favor by fucking him?
Would Lewis rather us fuck him or kill him?
Yeah, I think he'd be like,
it's like, you go ahead and kill us.
Yeah.
You go ahead and kill me.
2 to the head. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I say I'll fuck Lewis and I'll kill Max this week.
Yeah, I'll fuck Lewis and I'll kill Max.
All right, cool. Do we have any shout outs?
We also
our brilliant new segment.
Todd on Venmo.
Yeah,
gave us a suggestion. We should do fuck, marry. This is a good fuck, marry, kill of team principles.
Oh, of the winning teams.
Toto and Christian.
That's the easiest. Thing that you've ever heard in your life.
Easiest kill ever.
Obviously.
It's obviously kill Bonotto.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kill Bonotto.
He's sleeping with the fishes. Okay.
Yeah. So you massacre Bonotto.
You can massacre Bonotto.
So do you
I think you marry Toto, you fuck Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you gotta do that. We gotta wait. We like the Toto Charles dynamic is getting toxic because we posted that video.
Toto Charles. What do you mean?
Sorry. So the Bonotto Charles dynamic. I mean, we saw Binotto with the finger wag.
Yes.
We saw him finger wagging towards Charles.
Yes.
And then you took a great video before the sprint race. Charles Leclerc is just like getting ready.
Yes.
Putting his fucking outfit on. He's putting on his helmet, and then it pans over, and Binotto is standing like 10 feet away,
breathing down his fucking neck,
barely within CDC guidelines of how far you can be away, and he's just staring at him, staring him down, being like, "Don't you cause too much trouble for me, young man.
Yeah.
Don't you make my life hard." And he's like, if I'm Charles Leclerc, I'm like, you've been making my life hard this entire fucking year, Mattia. I mean,
toxic work environment.
It seems insane. It just seems insane. I think Binotto's got to go.
I don't understand.
I don't know if he's.
I'm like Charles Leclerc a 5-year bajillion-dollar deal,
right?
And they're not treating him like that.
And he's driving the fucking wheels off the car. It's not like he's sucking. He's driving great.
I think Carlos Sainz is just really good at the politics.
And you know what? And this is what we talked about last year. We were talking about Carlos being a fucking operator, and Carlos being there were these stories where Carlos was like at the Ferrari factory like all the time, to the point where they were like, we don't even have anything else for you to do. Like, he gets in there like a fucking tick, like a leech, and he fucking ingratiates himself. He becomes a part of the fabrics. And all of a sudden, when it's like a time to like, are we really gonna fuck over Carlos? Like, he's our guy.
Well, it's more of a tough decision.
Right. Yeah, because Carlos has fucking ingratiated himself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like when you have a friend over,
right,
and he's maybe slightly better athlete, and your dad's throwing a cat, like he's just a little bit more charming than you are, and you're just like, I'm the son.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, he's like helping do the dishes.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get that, Miss Leclerc. Let me get that, Miss Binotto.
Yeah.
That's it's an amazing meal. And it's wait, you're my friend. What do you do? What's going on here?
Yeah. I love this food is delicious.
That is the vibe.
That Carlos Sainz is going places.
Right. They leave. They're talking about he's so great.
And you're like, well, at school he's a piece of shit. I don't.
Yeah.
So handsome too.
Right.
Your parents are and then you have to hear like, hey, when are you inviting Carlos Sainz over again? And you're like, never.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm fucking done with that guy.
Fucking done with that guy.
But he'll do it like a couple times. It's like, I think Charles is getting wise to it. Charles finally getting wise to it. So he's not fucking taking any more chances with Carlos Sainz. Okay, before our last segment, we got to give some shout outs. We got Renee.
Wait.
This is on
we have a Ferrari segment.
Yeah, before we do our final segment. Because you know what? No one wants to listen to the fucking shout-outs, so we have to tease them with the fuck Ferrari segment to get to the fucking thing. This is how the sausage...
I'm literally about to pass out from
this is how the so let me do it. Okay, so for we have Renee wanted to give a B-Day shout-out to Steph and Sydney, who was the one who told her about us and said that the pod helped them get through an Australian lockdown. Hell yeah. Craig C., who loved Brian's Mercury and Metro, was in, Retro Racist. Cool. Faizan C., who wants F1 TV to stop showing replays during the last 10 laps. He wants to see the live race. Okay? And there's a wedding shout out to Sean in Dublin. That's from Jenny herself. Oh, Jenny and I fucking met in real life. We had a great, we hugged like, it was like the boy chick. Oh, it was like old, long lost Jewish siblings.
People lost it to the diaspora.
Diaspora finally meeting. We had a great lunch in DC. And it was better than my lunch with Charles Leclerc. You heard it here first. So for the fuck Ferrari, which is our segment.
there's some left out. So we have Sid,
Okay.
who wants to meet up in Austin. We are going, by the way. I just bought Jenny a ticket,
Yeah.
and we got to buy ourselves a ticket. And
Yep.
Todd, love you, Todd. Margaret. Oh, Margaret. Oh, we already did Margaret. And then we have did we do the birthday shout out? I am dying of heat exhaustion.
Just who cares? We'll do it next time. Let's get Matt out of the fucking heat. I was in Matt's apartment, and it's absolutely horrible to be in there. Our last segment, Fuck Ferrari, where we read the reviews on whatever website of the Ferrari factory.
No, this is Ferrari World in Abu
This is Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi. Mark Linton gave it 1 star. This is what the review said. Went to officers' food quarters inside Ferrari World. Food was poor, to say the least. Chicken wings were solid, overcooked, and dry on the inside. Would not recommend. That is our fucking Fuck Ferrari segment. We got to give a shout out. Matt's Warlock prediction actually worked. He said that Charles Leclerc's bad luck would continue. Lewis Hamilton would have a horrible race, and Max is going to run away with the world with this race, and the World Drivers' Championship would be decided here. None of those things happened. So for the first time, maybe ever, you were 3 for 3 on your Warlock predictions.
I'm the chosen one at being wrong.
That's right. And I said that I think Charles is going to take it, get his revenge, and I was absolutely 100% right because I actually say what I mean and I say it with my chest. Okay, France is next week. Who you got?
I got a last place finish for Lewis. He's going to fucking he's literally going to shit his pants.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a bowel episode and shit his pants at the start and just not even start the race or go 5 feet and just hit a wall.
Uh-huh.
The worst race of all time for Lewis Hamilton.
Interesting.
I think Carlos Sainz's car will not blow up again. Definitely not. And we definitely will not see a Carlos Dos being depressed again because I would hate to see that.
Right. That would suck.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and Max Verstappen is going to run away with it, and this championship is decided.
Okay, I think that Max Verstappen is going to win this race, and I actually mean what I'm saying here. I think Max Verstappen is going to win this race. I think Alpine is going to have a good showing. I like these straights are looking fucking sexy-dexy. I think that Charles Leclerc is lucky with a 3rd place here. I think he's lucky to get out with a podium. That is my prediction. Go watch episode 1 of Bridge and Tunnel. I am literally a fucking successful actor on a television show, so watch it. We're trying to get a season 3. If we get a season 3, I can stress out so much less about money because I've been spending so much of it, and I will need the podcast less. So maybe that'll be incentive for you to not watch
Venmo
it.
us money.
Venmo us money because I need it because I'm going to Europe this summer. I'm spending all of it. So go watch Bridge and Tunnel on Epix. Fucking buy it for $5.99. You can watch it on Amazon. You can stream it on Amazon. Go do it. All right, the Venkas. Until next time.
Bye, Venkas.
See you later, Venkas.
And now we are a fucking bunch of wankers.